Hello, everyone. This is Eric Bastien from Be Your Best Self Coaching, and welcome to Mastermind Magic, Transforming Lives. When two or more people come together in conversation, a synergy happens, and ideas that would not otherwise come to mind reveal themselves. And that is the magic of the mastermind. Today, we're here to use the power of a mastermind to provide you with real action steps that you can apply immediately. So who are we? Well, we're a group of life enhancers who are highly trained, deeply intuitive, and we all have a passion for helping people. We're here to help you to take the steps to live a life that you absolutely love living. We're not doctors or therapists, so it's important that you seek medical direction from licensed doctors in regard to any medical conditions. We simply offer alternative thought patterns, not with the intent to replace medical advice in any way, shape, or form, but to enhance understanding of yourself. And right now we will have Lisa Houston, who will say something about our event today.
Thank you, Eric. During our event today, feel free to post your comments and questions. If you'd like to ask a question, just select the down arrow near the bottom of your comments area where it says to everyone, and then select to admin with the down arrow. And this will allow your question to be sent exclusively to us, just the coaches. Not everyone else will see it. And also, if at any time your video freezes or the connection quality isn't good, press the reconnect button above us, our pictures, so that you can refresh your connection. There are Facebook and Twitter links on the page, so you're welcome to let people know you're here. Feel free to share this with all your friends. Make sure to like us and share on Facebook. That way you can stay updated with future events and receive many additional life-enhancing tips. Check at the top of your chat for the link if you haven't already visited our Facebook page. We're scheduled to be here for about an hour, so please make sure to stay until the end to receive a special gift from us. And now I'd like to turn it over to Athina, who will talk to us about what we're covering today in the Working with the Law series. Athina?
Thank you, Lisa. Hello, this is Athina, the Chief Possibility Officer with Life to Design and one of Mastermind Magic. And today, like you've probably checked out some of our other videos, which we thank you very much for doing that. And this year in 2018, we're covering the universal laws. We're covering one every month. And this month, we are covering here the law of sacrifice. And you might be thinking, what the heck is the law of sacrifice? Am I supposed to give everything up in order to do what it is that I want? And that is not the case. We're going to actually go into some different elements of the law of sacrifice and really define what that means. So to start us off, it's going to be Felicia. Felicia's going to be coming up to talk about the lesser for the greater. So here we go. Felicia, let's bring you on up.
Hello and welcome everyone. Felicia Lonobile from Love Yourself Coaching. Again, thank you for joining us this evening. And thank you, Athina, for introducing me. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to share with you my perspective on the universal law, specifically the law of sacrifice. And I'm going to talk about sacrificing the lesser for the greater. What does that mean? Because when we hear the word sacrifice, we immediately, instinctively think the religiously sacrificing. And like Athina mentioned earlier, it's not at all that. It's not about sacrificing everything you own. So what is it then if it's not that? What could it possibly mean? Well, what it means is sacrificing at the same time as being disciplined. So say you have a vision. We all have visions. For today's example, I'm going to use a business vision. So you have a business. So if I would ask you, what is it that you want? You're going to tell me you would like your business to thrive and to grow, Perhaps you're selling products. Perhaps you're in the business of enrolling clients. Whatever it may be for you. Perhaps you want to write a book or become a sought-after speaker. It doesn't matter what it is. So when we have a vision in mind and we want that for ourselves, we have to be willing to sacrifice the lesser, be disciplined enough to gain the greater. And what that means when you're gaining the greater, what that means is receiving more than you anticipated. The rewards will be enormous. So let me give you an example. Say you are selling products. So what is your normal everyday routine? What is it that you do at the beginning of each day? Is it you're getting up, you're having a cup of coffee, looking at the newspaper? If you have your own business, then you figure, well, maybe I'll open my laptop, read my emails, everyday stuff that we all do. Now, you continuing in this way, have you seen any results in your business? Has it changed any, or is it like status quo? Does it keep staying the same? Obviously, if we don't apply changes, you cannot see any results, or rather the results that you're longing to see. So when I say sacrificing the lesser, what I'm saying is be disciplined enough to change something. And yes, it's going to be uncomfortable because I'm asking you to do something outside the comfort zone. So say you get up and you say, well, you know what, today I'm going to read my emails. Maybe I'll follow up a couple of emails. But say you decide, you know what, it's giving me this result. I want to increase my results. Now you say to yourself, you know what, instead of following up my emails or instead of reading my paper in the morning, I think I'm going to start bright and early. I'm going to have my cup of coffee and I'm going to go out and I'm going to meet my new prospects face to face, shake hands, tell them what product I have. Why do I think this product is going to serve them for the greater? Because whatever we do, we are helping others, we're serving, but then it comes back to you. So that's what this universe is all about. So write out your vision. That's what I would recommend you do. Write out what is it that you want in your business vision. Actually, ask yourself the question, what do I want? And then write out the vision, exactly what you want. And then look at your daily routine. What is it that you can take from that and change? Doesn't have to be everything. You can choose 2 items, 2 topics, 2 things that you're going to do different, purposely, deliberately, feeling uncomfortable so that you can start seeing the results that you are so wanting. And the results will come and they will be enormous. Because if you do the same thing over and over every day, you're not going to see any change. So if the vision is important enough for you, and that's why the why has to be so important, you can have your dream. You most definitely can. It just, you need to get a little bit, have that discipline of sacrificing 1 or 2 things, not much. And then see how the results start to change. And even though it's uncomfortable, it's worth it. It'll be all worth it when you see the change. So I hope I was able to help you a little bit with my share on the law of sacrifice. There's going to be my fellow coaches who are going to add their perspectives, clarify it even more. But this law works. If you apply it correctly, I promise you it works. So thank you for listening. Felicia Lonobile from Love Yourself Coaching. And with this, I'm going to ask Eric to come on and he's going to talk about establishing new habits. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Felicia. That was wonderful. This is Eric Bastien once again from Be Your Best Self Coaching. And when we're working with the law, we're actually basing all of our information from a book by Raymond Hollowell called Working with the Law. And as coaches, we get into the habit of studying this material. And it's actually, it requires discipline, because a lot of the things that we were taught growing up, a lot of the, from our churches or from our synagogues or even at school, a lot of the things that we were taught we weren't programmed the right way. So this is one of those books that we refer to very often, and that's why we've decided to share this information with you as well. And so we as coaches apply this material, and we discipline ourselves. We give ourselves a command and read this material. And I'll just give you an example of something that I've done, and I've done with other coaches as well. And Andrea, who's actually not with us tonight, but what we do is we're actually reading partners. So we schedule a time every single day where we will pick a book. It could be Working with the Law. It could be any book that we feel is right that will help us in our businesses. And we will schedule a time that we will actually read to each other for half an hour to an hour every single day. And sometimes it might even just be a couple of paragraphs. There's just a lot of information, and we will do that in order for us to learn the material. Now, we had to give up something for doing that. Initially it could have been sleep, or it could have been something else. So we actually had to replace that habit by, instilling a new habit. So when it comes to your dream, when it comes to anything that you want to accomplish in life, you're going to have to give something up, something that you were doing, because if you were, if you want to get to that vibration of your dream, but you're not necessarily living into that dream right now, because you're not doing everything that you need to do to live in that dream. So you're gonna have to give something up, and so that's what sacrifice is, really, is like Felicia said, is you're giving something of a lower nature for something of a higher nature. And so that's and that's about it that I have to say on the topic. I know that we'll have a chance to, we'll have a bit of a group discussion at the end where we'll be able to talk about this a little bit more. But, if anybody, if you want to, this is a wonderful book, and you can get it online on Amazon or anywhere, really. And it's a very good book to study as well. And I highly encourage all of you to go ahead and do that. So anyway, having said that, I'm going to pass the baton to Lisa, and she's going to be talking about us on how to apply the law of sacrifice to help us grow. So Lisa.
Well, thank you very much, Eric. That was very enlightening, and you gave some great tips on some things that you might need to give up to grow. And that's really what I'm going to be talking about today. And I'm Lisa Houston from Zen Encouragement Coaching. And some of the key concepts for the law of sacrifice is to give up something lesser to gain the greater. When you give up something lesser, like an easier task, then you take on a harder task. And it really does sound kind of scary when you're doing this. It creates an image of a sacrifice, like, the sacrificial lamb or something like that. But it really has nothing to do with that at all. What it really is about is growing. And just like if you're a runner, when I used to run, I used to get up at 5:30 in the morning and do my run, come home, shower, and go to work, because my goal was to run a race. And so I needed to give up something, which happened to be sleep at that time, to be able to get a run in every day. Because if I tried to do it after work, either was, getting dark, or right after dinner, I couldn't run, or things like that. So you really have to kind of figure out what is important to you. Like my fellow coaches are saying, you have to have a goal, and then you have to figure out what that you want to give up. Like if you have a goal to lose weight, then maybe you have to give up the Oreo cookies. But if you think about it, you're growing and you're learning not to eat bad foods so that you can reach your goal. And also, like, when I started doing this coaching program, I had to give up some free time to study. And I have a 45-minute drive to work every morning and every night coming home. And so what I did was, instead of just getting frustrated in traffic and just listening to music, I got audiobooks. So I listened to them on the way, and that's how, on the way to work, and that's how I studied some. So with the law of sacrifice really isn't that scary. It just means that maybe you're doing something with your free time or expendable time that's not serving you towards your goal. So if you have some time that you think that you can sacrifice for your goal, then it's a great idea to think about how you can grow. If you ever read the book, The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, love that book. I highly recommend it. And he's basically saying that if you're only like 1 or 2% better each day by reading like 10 pages of a book or whatever, what does it take you? It doesn't take you that long. But by the end of the year, think about how many books you've read, how much knowledge you gained. So it really is important to think about the law of sacrifice and how it can help you grow. You're really not sacrificing something, that's going to make your life worse. You're sacrificing some maybe unused time or some time that you could give up so that you could spend doing something that works you more towards your own goal. And so think about that during this week and think about how you can develop like expansive and positive thoughts during the day so that you can manifest your dream. Think about maybe there's something that I'm doing, I'm laying in bed maybe an extra 15 minutes or something each morning because I don't want to get up. Or you could be listening to an audiobook, or you could go for a short walk. Anything that's going to move you closer towards your goal. So I hope that has helped explain a little bit about how the law of sacrifice really isn't scary. It's there to help you grow. You're giving up the lesser, like expendable time, for the greater, which is growing. And now I'd like to turn it back over to Athina, who is going to talk about the law of sacrifice for business. Athina?
Thank you very much, Lisa. Again, this is Athina Salazar, Chief Possibility Officer with Life to Design. And yes, I am here going to cover the law of sacrifice specifically for business, because as we're talking about, all of us here are life mastery consultants and we all have different titles in our business. I specialize in helping businesses as well. So I'm going to translate the law of sacrifice into something that business professionals would be able to identify with in somewhat of their language. It might feel a little dry, but here we go. So what it is truly is a term that you've probably studied in business school or you've heard of, which is opportunity cost. And here is our definition of opportunity cost. So a benefit, profit, or value of something that must be given up to acquire and achieve something else. So as we were all mentioning, the lesser for the greater. And that could be in anything. So here, since every resource, land, money, time, list goes on, can be put to alternative uses. So every action, every choice or decision has an associated opportunity cost. So opportunity costs are fundamental costs in economics and are used in computing cost-benefit analysis of a project. Is it really worth doing what it is that we're going to be doing? So such costs, however, are not recorded in an accounting book. So this isn't anything that you can track a number on, so to speak, or there's a value that has a direct money attachment. that you can put down and bank on that or go cash it. But it's recognized in decision making by computing the cost, the cash outlays, and their resulting profit and loss. So there's a lot of information going on there. But at the core of opportunity cost, it's really how is it that you're best using your time? So if we think about it and we say, what are the strengths that we have? For us as individuals, we're great coaches. And our prime time is being one-on-one with our clients to help them to transform. So if we are spending time doing bookkeeping, if we're spending time in other areas doing things that are, say it's $10 an hour work, as opposed to what we receive as being a coach, it's costing us a lot by doing the things that aren't in our strength. So here we would be evaluating our businesses or our projects to say, it's costing me a lot of money and I'm losing a lot of money by not doing the thing that I'm best at. So in any business, if your primary thing, and maybe you're the best at the sales portion of your business, so if you're not there talking to a new person and using your talent in that way, and you're using it on something that really brings you down, it's costing you a lot in your business and the ability to grow and move your business forward if you are putting your time towards something that's not as beneficial for your organization. So really with opportunity costs, it gives you the information to be able to decide. So decide actually means to cut away. So you want to cut away the things that are not beneficial for you. So as Felicia was mentioning, business vision, Lisa was mentioning about your goal, it's very important to have that in front of you. So then it's much easier to be able to make a decision on what to cut away. If you decide that this is the direction that you're going and this is what you do best at, and maybe it's you're deciding to have a partner that's really good at some of the other things to complement you. So you're determining, is it best to hire people or actually have a partner? So you're weighing all of these costs and being able to make a decision to be able to move forward so it's most profitable for your organization. So with the law of sacrifice, sometimes sacrifice can have a negative connotation, but really you can think creatively. You can think creatively. Lisa was mentioning how she's listening to audiobooks in her car, to and from work. So you can creatively figure out ways. For myself, as an example, there was a time when I was going to college and finishing my degree while I was working full time, and the only time that I had to study was in the evening. And every time I would pick a book up and read, I would fall asleep. So what I would do, similar to what Lisa mentioned, is I figured out a way for my computer to be able to read me my PDF textbooks. So while I'm doing dishes, while I'm doing something else, I creatively figured out, instead of sitting there and concentrating and thinking I'm never going to remember this, I figured out a way that I could do what I'm already doing and actually multiply that time. I actually put more and built more into that time, because we really want to, suck every juice and joy out of every moment that we have. So when we're looking at the law of sacrifice, we can creatively figure out ways, I could do this instead of this. And it might even be new technology, because there are some times that we're learning how to use a new system in our business and see how it's going to benefit us. If it's going to save us time, that's a tremendous help. There's actually artificial intelligence now for businesses where it can help just set appointments. How many times have you gone back and forth with someone to set an appointment? Like, is this day good for you? Is this one? Is this time? Is it, so instead of going back and forth, now there's the ability to just send a link that links to your calendar, makes it private, your appointments, but it gives the person an idea of what's available, and then they can send back some options. So that tremendously reduced how much time that it takes to do a task. So then you're actually eliminating the lesser effective system that you're using to a more effective system. So that's where technology can help you in a business to be able to remove the things that aren't serving you and your organization, and choosing things and changing to be able to adapt to make things more effective in your organization. So really it's identifying what's not serving you anymore in any area of your life. And specifically, I'm speaking about business, but how to identify that, decide on making a change, weigh the pros and the cons of doing that. And if it's going to actually make things more efficient, move into that. And it may be a scary change because maybe technology isn't your strong suit. But if you're able to learn it, and it's been taking you 2 hours to set appointments, and now it takes you 10 minutes, you've now gained that much time, and we don't have any more time. As it ticks by, it's gone. So here, you've actually gained more. So with the law of sacrifice, we all shared our perspectives on that. We gave you some additional information and tools. So I'm going to bring everybody back on the screen so we can have any last input on anything. So I'll go ahead and make myself a little bit smaller here. And then we can all share any insights or any other topics that you wanted to add in relation to what we've shared.
I was just going to say, I love what you talk about, your time and stuff like that. I just wanted to, and how you look at the activities as well. It's, we mentioned this, it's another point, but it's a point that I want to raise again. If we're managing activity versus managing time, you can't manage time. But if you've got a list of your activities and start listing those activities, then you're able to actually manage those activities. And it makes it a lot simpler. I know for me, to understand it, it's just it's much simpler. So anyways, I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, great. So Lisa or Felicia, did you have any additional comments or?
I think I'm going to add that the idea behind giving the lesser for the greater is also stems from our way of thinking, our thought pattern. And that's what we have to work towards, to try and change our way of thinking when we are approaching a new way of doing things. Because ultimately, it's the paradigms that are holding us back from moving forward to the life that we want to live and love. So once we work a little bit with our thinking and then say, well, my old way of thinking has produced these results. I'm going to change my way of thinking and maybe see different results. So I just wanted to throw that in. Thank you, Athina.
Yeah. And it makes me remember the phrase, I think it was back in the 80s or something like that, where it's garbage in, garbage out. you know? And it's all like, so if you don't want that coming out or going into your mind, like exactly what you said, like change that thought pattern, change that thinking about that so you can gain another level of understanding or anything like that.
Absolutely.
Right. And also the discipline of it, because you really have to have discipline to change those patterns to something that is more expansive in your life. So if you don't have the discipline, then you're going to go back to sleeping late again or eating things you're not supposed to or whatever. So discipline really comes into it too.
Yeah, exactly.
And just a magic word as well, add a love to your discipline. Right? You're starting something new. Like Lisa said, it's not really scary. That's one way of looking at it, but if you look at it from a different perspective, but if you put some love into that, right? It may not feel loving initially, especially if you're doing something new, but just have that in mind, right? Have a vision, know where you're going, and then put some love that new habit that you're instilling. And before you know it, you'll be a habit. You'll love it.
Yeah. Because once you take something away, it creates a vacuum. And if you're not filling that with something that is the greater of what you want, then just like a rubber band, what you took out is going to come right back. So exactly what you were saying. So yes, thank you everyone for joining us. And actually, Felicia has something that she would like to to share with everyone that joined us today. So Felicia.
Okay. Thank you for joining us today. If you would like to explore how you can gain a further understanding of how to ask the questions that can change your life, click the Request Contact button in the chat area to choose who you would like from Mastermind Magic to contact you. This is your special gift of a complimentary strategy session. Also, remember to like us on Facebook to receive life-enhancing tips and notifications of upcoming events. And the address is in the chat. You can always go to the pinned post on our Facebook page to submit your questions anytime. And before I introduce or bring back Eric, I just want to add that I have an upcoming workshop here in Montreal. So for those of you who are viewing this video and live in Montreal, I welcome you to join me. Details will be posted on the Mastermind Facebook page, and it's going to be June 2nd. But like I said, you can always view the details there. And with that, I'm going to ask Eric to come back.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to post my workshop. All right, here we go. So I have a workshop coming up this Saturday, May 12th as well. And it's right here in, right in Milton, Ontario. So if you're in the area, it would be awesome to have you there. So I'm really on it. And it's a 1 hour workshop that I'm delivering from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock right here in Milton. So it's wonderful to have you. And with that, I also have an event that she's going to be hosting or whatever. So there's more information on that.
Yes. So let me go ahead and
okay.
get myself up here.
So we look.
So here we go. So here are the events. If you happen to be in the Sacramento area, so if you may be in California, there are some things coming up. So on May 16th, well, here it has our webinar that's on here. So next month, it's going to be on the second Wednesday of the month. So that'll be coming up. But on the 16th, I'll be speaking in Auburn, California at an attraction marketing meeting. And we're going to be covering ideal client, how to identify your ideal client and how to attract them. And then I'll be speaking at the Business Women Rock in Roseville on the 24th. They're still determining the topic on that one. And then on June 6th, there will be a workshop in Fair Oaks at LeMay Chiropractic on the 4 disciplines of execution. So you can find all of this information and the details for it on my specific Facebook page, and also it will be on Mastermind Magic as well. So you can check that all out there. And I will go ahead and bring back Felicia. So let me go ahead and stop that there. So there you go.
Thank you, Athina. We look forward to being with you again. The next online event will be on Wednesday, June 9th, I believe, at 3 p.m. Pacific time or 6 p.m. Eastern time. So go ahead and create a great day. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much.